Hey, Manchester City fans! If you're a supporter of the club and always keeping up with the latest transfer news, this video is for you. Today, we're going to explore the moves City could make to strengthen their squad, both in defense and with the arrival of new talent. With Pep Guardiola always planning for the future, the citizens are keeping an eye on a few opportunities that could transform the team in the coming years. But before we dive in, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates about City's future. Now let's get started. The transfer market is always in motion, and Manchester City, one of the most ambitious clubs in European football, doesn't waste time when it comes to strengthening their team. Under Pep Guardiola's leadership, the team has won numerous titles, and the manager is renowned for his ability to build winning teams. However, to keep City at the top, the search for new talent never stops, and the upcoming transfer window promises to be another opportunity to reinforce the squad. Guardiola, who is highly selective in his signings, has a strict criterion when choosing players. He doesn't just look for individual talent, but rather athletes who can seamlessly fit into his style of play. This means every signing needs to be a meaningful addition to the team, focusing on quality and tactical intelligence. So what can we expect from Manchester City's next transfer window? The club seems focused on reinforcing its defense, a crucial area for the team's success. A solid defense has always been one of the team's pillars, and signings for this position must be made with great care. Recently, a Premier League centre-back caught the attention of City's scouts, and the possibility of him joining the team has generated much speculation. But will this transfer go through? Let's explore this possibility further. Manchester City always has long-term plans. Even with a star-studded squad, the club knows that football requires constant evolution. In recent years, the team has signed top defenders like Ruben Dias, Akanji, and Gvardiol, all key elements in Guardiola's system. However, modern football requires depth in all positions, and defense is no exception. Therefore, City is paying close attention to potential new reinforcements. The type of player Manchester City is looking for is well-defined. They prefer fast, intelligent players with excellent ball-playing ability who can handle the intense pressure of the Premier League. The team needs players who can quickly adapt to the league's pace and are ready to cope with the constant demand for high performance. With this in mind, one name has emerged recently: Mickey van de Ven. The Dutch centre-back, who plays for Tottenham, has been impressing in the Premier League since his arrival, and Manchester City has shown a great interest in signing him. Van de Ven, 23, has been one of Tottenham's standout players, showcasing an impressive combination of speed, defensive ability, and passing quality. These characteristics are highly valued by Guardiola, who looks for center-backs capable of actively participating in building play from the back. However, signing Van de Ven is not without its challenges. One of Manchester City's main concerns is the player's recent injury, which affected his tendon during a match against Chelsea. This injury has raised doubts about his physical condition and created uncertainties about his ability to perform at a high level. City, having invested heavily in players in the past, cannot afford to take the risk of signing an athlete prone to recurring injuries. Therefore, this transfer will depend heavily on medical assessments and the player's recovery. Despite the injury, Van de Ven has already shown that he is a world-class center-back, and his contract with Tottenham runs until 2029, making any negotiations a bit more complicated. Tottenham is known for being tough in negotiations and is unlikely to release its most valuable players without a substantial offer. Van de Ven's situation will therefore be a difficult negotiation for Manchester City, but it's not an impossible mission. The question is it worth taking the risk and investing in a player with potential but a recent history of injuries? In addition to Van de Ven, Manchester City is also eyeing other defensive options. The name of Marc Guéhi, Crystal Palace's center-back, has also been mentioned as a possible signing. Guéhi is a highly respected player in the Premier League, known for his consistency and defensive ability. His style of play also fits Manchester City's requirements, with the team looking for players who can contribute to the ball-playing aspect and position themselves intelligently in defense. While Crystal Palace may be less resistant in negotiations than Tottenham, they will still not make it easy for their defender to leave. Now the question is, Who should Manchester City sign to strengthen their defense? Van de Ven, with his potential and exceptional skills, but with concerns about his physical condition, or Guehi, a more experienced and reliable center-back, but perhaps with less room for growth? This is a debate that could shape the city's transfer strategy in the coming months. But the search for reinforcements isn't limited to defense. Manchester City is also keeping an eye on young talents, especially those with the potential to become major stars in the future. And one name that is generating a lot of excitement is Claudio Diablito Echeverri, an 18-year-old Argentine midfielder who has impressed with his performances in the South American U20 Championship. Echeverri, who already has his rights owned by Manchester City, is regarded as one of the top prospects in South American football. His skill, game vision, and composure in decisive moments are qualities that have attracted the attention of Pep Guardiola, who sees great potential in the young player. The fact that Echeverri stood out with both Argentina and River Plate in the South American U20 Championship has only increased expectations about his future in European football. Manchester City, known for its excellent reputation in developing young talent, wasted no time in integrating Echeverri into its squad. However, Guardiola's plan is not to rush things. The young midfielder will not be thrown straight into the most important Premier League matches. On the contrary, the plan is to gradually integrate him into the team, allowing him to adjust to the rhythm and intensity of European football. Initially, Echeverri may have his first opportunities in competitions like the FA Cup, where City can better manage the young player's workload. The goal is to give him time to adjust, improve his technique, and evolve physically before being thrown into high-level games in the Premier League. Guardiola, known for shaping young players and turning them into major stars, believes that Echeverri has what it takes to become a key player for Manchester City in the future. During this adaptation period, Echeverri will have the chance to learn alongside great City players like Kevin De Bruyne, Phil Foden, and Bernardo Silva. Training with these experienced players will be crucial for the young Argentine's development, as he will be able to absorb Manchester City's playing philosophy and enhance his skills. Additionally, Guardiola and his coaching staff may also consider the possibility of a loan to a mid-tier European club if they feel Echeverri needs more game time in a competitive league before taking on a prominent role at City. This decision will depend on his progress in training and the team's needs, but the main goal is to ensure that Echeverri has the best opportunity to develop and grow within the structure of Manchester City. The arrival of Diablito at City is excellent news for the fans, who are already excited to see the young talent in action, whether at the club or on a future loan. At 18, Echeverri is at a crucial stage in his career. He has the potential to become one of the biggest stars in world football, but he needs time and patience to reach that level. Guardiola is aware of this and knows that Echeverri's success at Manchester City will be a gradual build-up. The enthusiasm of Manchester City fans towards Echeverri is palpable, and it's easy to understand why. The Argentine midfielder, with his vision and technical skills, has the potential to be a key figure in the club's future. Guardiola, always attentive to the development of young talents, believes that the Diablito can bring a new dynamic to City's midfield, especially in a future where the team will look to renew its options in the sector. Although City already has some of the best options in the world in terms of midfield, such as De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva, the addition of Echeverri brings an exciting possibility of diversification. The Argentine has a creative playing style, with precise passes and an impressive reading of the game for his age. If he manages to adapt to the rigor and intensity of the Premier League, we may be witnessing the rise of a new star in world football. However, as already discussed, this adaptation process may be gradual, and Manchester City has the patience needed to mold him in the way that best fits Guardiola's plan. Additionally, Echeverri's transfer and the possible signing of defenders, such as Van de Ven, show that Manchester City is always keeping an eye on the future. Guardiola, recognized for his ability to transform teams, seems to be creating a structure that will last for many years. The arrival of new talents and the constant renewal of the squad are key strategies to keep the team competitive, both in the Premier League and in European competitions, such as the Champions League. But while the focus is on future acquisitions and the development of players like Echeverri, we must not forget the current stars of the team. Manchester City already boasts a squad of the highest caliber, with world-class players in every position. Guardiola already has key players like Erling Haaland, Kevin De Bruyne, and Phil Foden, who continue to shine and lead the team to new successes. However, like any great manager, Guardiola knows that long-term success depends on always being prepared for the unexpected. The competition is fierce in the Premier League, and City needs to ensure that their squad is always updated and strong enough to continue dominating the competitions. As for the defense, a sector often considered the team's most vulnerable point, it is clear that City is seeking ways to further strengthen the backline. The potential signing of Van de Ven and the interest in Guehi demonstrate the club's commitment to ensuring that the defense is always up to expectations, especially in high-level competitions. Guardiola understands that to continue competing in the top leagues, the defense must be impregnable, and that's why he is looking for heavy reinforcements for this position. This search for a high-quality center-back has sparked debates among fans and experts. Van de Ven, with his speed and passing ability, certainly represents an excellent option for Manchester City's style of play. However, concerns about his fitness after the injury could be a decisive factor. Tottenham, in turn, will not make negotiations easy, as Van de Ven is one of the team's pillars. If Manchester City truly wants the player, they will need to be strategic, perhaps offering an enticing proposal that will make Spurs reconsider their stance. On the other hand, Marc Guehi from Crystal Palace is a safer alternative. The center-back, known for his consistency and defensive quality, could be exactly the type of player Guardiola is looking for. While his passing ability is not as impressive as Van de Ven's, Guehi is a reliable defender with Premier League experience, which could be an advantage for City in terms of quick adaptation to the team. Ultimately, Manchester City has several options to strengthen their defense, and the decision on who to sign will depend on various factors such as Van de Ven's physical condition, the cost of negotiations, and the team's immediate needs. However, regardless of who is signed, the goal is clear: to further strengthen the squad to maintain supremacy in English and European football. And we must not forget another crucial piece for Manchester City's success in the upcoming seasons: Guardiola's ability to manage young talents. The case of Echeverri is a clear example of this. The Catalan coach has a long history of working with promising young players and turning them into world-class professionals. If there's one thing City has demonstrated over the years, it's that their youth development infrastructure is among the best in the world. Players like Phil Foden, who came through the youth ranks, have been key to the team's success and are prime examples of how patience and investment in talent development can yield great rewards. With the arrival of Echeverri, Manchester City shows that it continues to follow this philosophy. Although the young Argentine does not have the same experience as other players in the squad, Guardiola is prepared to give him time to mature and become a key player in the club's future. City's flexibility regarding these young talents, allowing them to grow at their own pace, could be a significant asset for the club in the coming seasons. The 2025-2026 season will be crucial for Manchester City, especially with the gradual renewal of the squad and the planning for the future. Guardiola is fully aware that constant evolution is necessary to maintain the team's dominance, and he is determined to build a squad that will continue to challenge the best in the world. This means that in addition to defensive reinforcements and the integration of young players like Echeverri, City will also need to keep investing in all areas of the pitch, ensuring that the team is always competitive in every match. With the current structure of the team, Manchester City's ambitions are clear: to dominate the Premier League, win more Champions League titles, and continue to be one of the most powerful teams in European football. The next transfer window will be a crucial opportunity for City to take another step toward these goals, whether by strengthening the defense with a quality center-back or bringing in new talents who can add even more value to the squad. What truly sets Manchester City apart from other clubs in European football is its long-term vision. Pep Guardiola, with his meticulous approach and attention to detail, is constantly seeking ways to improve the team, not just in the present, but also in the future. The club's philosophy of investing in players who can adapt to its style of play, while also strengthening different positions, is what keeps City at the top of the most demanding competitions. In the case of Echeverri, Guardiola's vision is clear. He wants to shape the young player so that over time, he becomes one of the cornerstones of the team. His ability to work with young players, as he did with Foden, has become one of his trademarks. The challenge with Echeverri will be ensuring he makes a successful transition to the Premier League, where the intensity is much higher than in other leagues. Patience will be key, but the Argentine's potential is undeniable, and he could become a real star at City if given the right conditions for development. As for the defense, the situation is a bit more urgent. While Manchester City has a squad full of stars, the defensive line is one of the areas that always requires reinforcement. The demands of the Premier League, combined with the challenges of international competitions, mean that the defense needs to be at the highest level at all times. Van de Ven, despite his recent injury, is a name that has attracted great interest from the club. His speed and ball skills are characteristics that fit perfectly into Guardiola's style of play. However, the fact that Tottenham has a long contract with the player until 2029 means that City will have to be very strategic in making this deal happen. On the other hand, Guehi, with his defensive solidity and experience in the Premier League, might be the more viable option. Guehi's experience in such a competitive league, along with his consistency at Crystal Palace, makes him an attractive option for Guardiola. His ability to quickly adapt to City's style of play without needing a long period of adjustment is a point in his favor. Furthermore, his presence in Palace's defense has been crucial, and his leadership skills could be a great addition to the team. While City is looking to strengthen its defense, what stands out in its recent moves is the balance between promising young players and experienced ones. The combination of experience with youthful freshness and energy is what has allowed City to dominate competitions over the past few years. Guardiola's success doesn't only come from the individual talent of his players, but also from his ability to manage and combine the pieces of his squad intelligently. Teamwork has always been one of Manchester City's pillars, and the Catalan coach is a master at maximizing each player's potential, creating a team where every piece fits perfectly. Thus, the arrival of players like Echeverri and the plans to reinforce the defense with names like Van de Ven or Guehi are not just short-term strategies, but are part of a much larger plan. Manchester City is building something sustainable, and every signing or tactical decision is carefully planned to ensure the club stays at the top in the coming years. The continued investment in young talent and players who can integrate well into Guardiola's system shows that City is not only thinking about immediate success, but also the future of its team. This strategic planning by Manchester City is one of the reasons why the club has been so dominant in recent seasons. While many clubs focus on signing players based on their names or reputation, City focuses on specific characteristics and attributes that align with its style of play. Guardiola has been exceptional at identifying gaps in the team and filling them with players who not only meet the tactical requirements, but also have the potential to shine in the collective system. With Echeverri, City is betting on a young talent who can offer creativity in midfield, while the potential defensive additions ensure the team remains solid in all areas. Furthermore, Manchester City's ability to handle both external and internal pressures is another factor that makes the club so effective. The pressure to win is always present, but Guardiola manages to keep his players focused and motivated, which is essential for continued success. The adaptation of new players to the Premier League's pace and the club's demands will be a challenge, but under Guardiola's guidance, many of these young players will have the chance to evolve and become great stars on the European stage. In the context of the transfer market, the upcoming window promises to be very interesting for Manchester City. The club, with its strategic vision and ability to attract top-level players, is well positioned to further strengthen its squad. While the focus is on improving the defense, the arrival of Echeverri also shows that City is always on the lookout for opportunities to add talent to midfield. The mix of youth and experience is key to ensuring that the club remains competitive in the following seasons. As City prepares for the 2025-2026 season, the reinforcements and choices Guardiola makes will have a significant impact on both domestic and international competitions. Manchester City has shown year after year that it can maintain its leadership position, and the next steps in the transfer market will be vital to ensure the team continues to be one of the most feared forces in world football. With players like Echeverri and ongoing defensive negotiations, the next window could be another opportunity for City to reinforce its champion status and further increase its dominance in European football. Ultimately, what we can expect from Manchester City in the coming years is an even stronger, deeper, and better prepared team to continue its pursuit of titles, both domestically and internationally. The integration of new talents, such as Echeverri, and the search for defensive reinforcements show that the club is committed to building a team not only for the present, but for the future. Pep Guardiola, with his innovative approach and ability to develop players, continues to be the main architect of this success. Therefore, the question is not just whether Manchester City will continue dominating football, but how it will do so in the coming years. With new players like Echeverri and reinforcements in defense, City is preparing to become even more formidable. The upcoming seasons promise to be exciting for the fans, with much more to look forward to from this talented and ambitious team. So, what do you think of Manchester City's potential signings? Do you believe Echeverri has what it takes to shine at one of the world's biggest clubs? Or should City focus more on strengthening the defense? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with the latest City news and transfer market updates. See you next time.